welcome to my channel. My name is Brittany and you're here with Peaceful Planters. So thank you for tuning in. I'm so excited to talk to you about plants today. We have 6 lovely plants that we're going to talk about. But first, I want to start with prayer. Thank you, Lord, for continuing to love us and care for us. Lord, thank you for your grace and mercy. Lord, I pray for families right now across the nation that they find healing and they find you to be the source of their life. Lord, thank you for allowing me to be able to speak today. Thank you for those who are watching. I pray that their life continues to be prosperous through you. Lord, I know we can do all things, so I just thank you in advance for all that you've done and all that you continue to do through my life and through plants. So Lord, thank you. I love you. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about are the plants that are suffering a little bit. And it's a little bit of a scale because some are doing really bad. I'm just going to forewarn you. I took some time away from my plants. I would say maybe about a week or so. And so now we're dealing with the results of it. So first thing, since I have this one right here, the Scindapsus, if I'm not mistaken, silver Scindapsus. This plant I've had for about 2 years. It was doing really good. I even had cuttings of it, gave it to other people, and it was growing until it grew, and then it stopped producing leaves at the end. So I think right now what's going on with it is that it may be a little root bound into this pot because it's been in the same pot for a long time. I'm also considering maybe I have been underwatering it because of some of these leaves being dead at the tips or dry leaves at the tips, but I'm seeing a lot of yellowing. So I'll probably end up pulling it out of the dirt because right now it does feel pretty dry. I may pull it out the dirt because all I feel is a lot of roots. Or I probably do both. I'll repot it, potentially cut it back. Definitely cut it back because I don't think that it's doing well. I do see some new growth here. So it's still wanting to grow, but it's facing, I think it's the watering. That is my guess. So we'll come back to it maybe in the next 2 weeks or a month or so and see how it's doing. See yellow leaves everywhere. And see how it's doing after I go ahead and chop it. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it now because there's no point of keeping it long. It really doesn't look that great, honestly. But there are a lot of potential plants for this particular plant. Okay, so I'm chopping it back. I think that's the best thing to do. And we have right here probably about 10 to 15 plants right here in this strand. So I may just plant them and water them and see what happens. So yes, so that's what's going on here. I'm gonna water it while I'm here because it does look a little dry. So make sure you're watering your plants. It is sitting near a window that gets a lot of sunlight. So it's not, I know it's not the sunlight that is the issue because it really likes it. It's really dealing with something going on with probably how frequently I'm watering it. So that's the Scindapsus, and that's pronounced that right? Yeah, the Scindapsus. All right, and the next plant, since this one's already, well, actually, let's start here. Voila. This is my philodendron. It was doing so well for the last, I don't know, 2 years. It started off really small. It was probably about this big. I bought it for about $5 and it grew so nice and full. And now I don't know what ended up being the problem. I think I left it. Again, this is the results of me not taking care of my plants for about 2 weeks, maybe longer. So I think a lot of the dead leaves are due to underwatering because they look crunchy. However, the good news is there's new growth coming from the stem. So I'm excited about that because it's still wanting to live. So I may repot it. I might. I'm not sure because I think it's a little too small for where it's at right now. But we'll see how it goes. Right now it doesn't need any water. It's pretty happy. It does have a lot of roots down here because it was, like I said, it was a bigger plant and now it's cut back a lot. So I believe the biggest issue that I faced with this one was just underwatering. So make sure you keep your plants in your mindset, have a watering schedule. Don't be like me and not water your plants. So this is the philodendron. I can't remember the exact type of I said philodendron. It is a peperomias. I'm not as sure on what kind, but yes. So here's that. And then the next one, my spider plant, which is thriving, even though it's having a hard time. It has some tips that are dead. And the reason that it is having tips that are dried out is because I'm not watering it enough. So it is having this tip issue. So I just cut it back with my scissors. These are clean. And allow it to grow back out from there. So right now, this one sits right in front of a window also, and it gets really good sunlight. So that's why it's been growing so nice and full, which I'm proud of. Again, it's a watering issue. So I will tell you all to make sure you're watering your plants, especially during growing season, because that's when it needs it the most, obviously, you know. So I'm giving it a little water. This water does have fertilizer in it, and it has, I'm not sure of the name. It's a seaweed fertilizer, and it works really well on my plants. And I put about ½ ounce of fertilizer in the water so that it can grow. What is it? 1½ ounces of the fertilizer per gallon. All right. So again, the only issue with this plant right now is just the tips of it dying off. And again, it's just really watering issues and some of this yellowing. So I just have to make sure that I continue to water it, and it'll stay nice, full, and lush, and the color looks so pretty. So I've had this one for, again, I think maybe about 2 years too. This was a gift. Someone gave me this one. And so now we're here. All right. So that's number 3. Oh, number 4. This is, believe it or not, this is Philodendron Ploumani. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I purchased this at a plant store. Can't remember the name. It's in Atlanta. And it looks so nice and lovely when I got it. And I did make a video even about this one. So what ended up happening, it got scale, which is like a little flat bug that gets on it. So it had a pest infestation. And I cut it back because I didn't feel like dealing with the pests and wiping off the leaves. And the leaves already looked they kind of looked droopy and sad anyway. So I just went ahead and cut it off. And after I cut it off, the issue that I had was that I was overwatering it. So because I overwatered it, I I had to take it out of the soil that it was in so that I could really check and see what was going on, A, and then B, really just get that soil, that wet soil off of the plant. But unfortunately, I really couldn't get everything off. So right now, this is what I'm working with. So my plan is to put it in cactus soil so that it doesn't sit in moisture for too long and I don't face that overwatering issue. I did have it near a window and it was near a humidifier because I know philodendrons typically need a lot of humidity. So I figured it was okay with me watering it pretty frequently. But again, there's a difference between humidity and watering. So make sure that you don't overthink and think that, oh, it likes humidity so I can water it a lot. No, you want to make sure the soil gets dry and make sure that you're not continuing to put more water on it while the soil's wet. So that was my problem. And now today, after this video, I'm going to go ahead and plant it and repot it in some new fresh soil, like I said, cactus soil, just to get it going again and kind of give it another opportunity to live. So yep, that's where we're at with this. And the last plant, or the last two plants, this is my Alocasia Black Velvet. And I think that's yeah, Black Velvet. Okay, so I want to repot this one. I want to repot it because it seems like potentially these could be small, actually like new nodes that could create plants too. I'm not really sure what they are called, but I noticed that they're continuing to grow. So I want to put it in some more soil and see if this can grow bigger. Or maybe it might be an opportunity for me to, like I said, cut these pieces off and grow them, but I'm not 100% sure. It has been doing fairly okay. You see this leaf is drooping a little bit, but I believe that's just due to light watering. And I have, again, neglected my plants. So that's sort of the results of it. And I'll be repotting this today. So I'm excited about that. The last plant that I have, or the last two, oh, I wanted to talk about this. This is my centerpiece to my dining table. I really want to get it out of water and eventually give it to someone, but it's actually been looking pretty good as a centerpiece. But anyhow, I wanted to show you all the small leaf that's growing in the water. I wasn't expecting a leaf to produce in water. Normally the leaves rot in water, but I was kind of pleased to see that there's a leaf there. I thought that was pretty cool. So, and then what else is in here is my bamboo, and it has roots on it. I'm super excited about that. I like to see that it has roots because I'll repot it and maybe it'll produce some more shoots. So yeah, this is my begonia and my bamboo, and it's doing pretty good in water. It's been in water for, I think, about 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, maybe more. I'm not sure. Between 2 to 3 weeks for sure. And it's doing great. So don't be afraid to cut your plant back and put it in some water.